Hello and welcome to Family Tech, where you get to be the tech expert of your home. If you have dug back
Doug.
dug back into the podcast, the early episodes of the podcast, dug into my YouTube channel, early podcast episodes on the YouTube channel, you will recognize my guest.
I need a walk-up song. Guess who's back?
I guess who's back
again.
Yeah. Or like, let me reintroduce myself. Yeah.
Exactly.
So my guest today is going to be a more permanent fixture on the
Yay.
podcast. It's Emilee, and she's back. She had a couple kids. She moved away.
It's like an extended maternity leave.
Right.
That's basically all it was.
Yeah.
We just raised a few children.
Right.
Still raising. They're still very young.
I'm like those are teeny kids. So
they're still very tiny.
Yeah. But to welcome Emilee back, we were just talking about I noticed that she had an Owala water bottle, and
the best water bottles. The
best. Like, you can see my plethora of water bottles. And I was telling her this is only half of my collection. And so my friend, who knows that I'm obsessed with Owala water bottles, was at the store, and she takes a picture of some themed Owala water bottles. And she's like, "Hey, I'm assuming you already have these." And I'm like, "Actually, I'm not like huge into that brand, but those ones behind that brand, I'm super into. Are like, where are you? Because I need to go buy these." Okay. Because the ones behind were all Star Wars ones. I'm like, is that the Grogu one? Because I need that Grogu one. Like, I've been stalking it on eBay, and like, it's like $150 on eBay. If I can just go to the store and buy that would be great. But I did buy I went to that store, which was Harmon's, and I bought the other brand that I'm not super into. But as we were talking, I'm like, Emilee is super into this brand.
I am into a brand.
I am revealing.
What is it? Oh.
Here is your present.
Oh, I've been wanting what? Oh my goodness. And it's Gryffindor colors.
Well, so we've got
Gryffindor to the core.
We also have.
Stop.
Whatever this one is.
That's Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff,
Come
sure.
on, Sarah. That's Hufflepuff.
Like I said, I'm not super into this brand. And
what?
Whoever that is.
Did you get all the houses?
No, they didn't have the fourth one. So
Ravenclaw, Sarah.
Thank you. I actually had to look it up. I'm like, what's the fourth one?
You're like, I don't know. It's blue, maybe. Oh my goodness.
I didn't even know it was blue. But anyway, Emilee, here are your new water bottles. Next time we get together.
In like 3 years since I moved 2 hours away from you.
I know. Maybe I'll ship them up. Anyway.
Oh, perfect. The mail. Remember, there's the mail.
Stupid mail. Anyway, so you'll be super thrilled. I did buy the Star Wars ones because.
How many Star Wars ones did you get?
5.
You have 5. I have 3 Owalas, and that, like, I'm gonna have to hide these. These are gonna be like secret Owalas because my husband's gonna be like, "What are you doing to our house?"
Yeah,
and I'm like, "Bring in water bottles."
Yeah. Well, I have the 5 Star Wars ones. So there's Grogu, there's a Darth Vader, there is a Mando, there is.
Are you looking at them?
Yes, I am. There's a Stormtrooper, and then there is a Boba Fett. So, yeah. So those ones are really cool.
Those ones seem really cool. I think I saw the Grogu one very early on.
Yeah.
But it was too small for what I wanted.
Oh, yeah. See, I'm a big fan of the 24 ounce. Like, that's my water bottle. Yeah.
This is a 32. I'm a 32er because I'm lazy and don't want to fill it up every like 10 minutes.
Well, that works. But yes, all these are 30 or are 24 ounce. But
nice.
And then
Perfect. They're good for
I
travel. 24 is best for
they
travel.
really are. Like, and that's why, like, it fits right in my cup
Cup.
holder, it fits right in my purse, anyway.
Yep. Love
I
it.
also have all of the Marvel ones. So
Oh, those
there's
ones are really cool. Some of those are
yeah,
real nice.
yeah. So I'm obsessed with water bottles. That's all there
Me
is
too.
to it. And
It's all me too. It's okay.
yeah,
We're
it's
staying
okay.
hydrated is
Right?
what's happening. We are being healthy, taking care of
Healthy.
our bodies.
Yes.
We're just worried
It's
about ourselves.
super
No other
important.
reason.
Absolutely. So, anyway, let's get into what you're really here for,
Oh
talking
yeah.
about tech news. So excited. Because like these are all like topics that I've like really wanted to talk about. And I usually do some tech news shorts, but they're like 1 minute and I have to be like,
You have to talk super fast instead
yeah,
of getting into it.
right. So super excited to get into it. So let's go ahead and start
Yes.
out
Let's start off
with
just hard hitting.
hard
Make
hitting.
people angry. I'm
Yeah.
so excited.
If you've, like you said, if you've dug deep into our archives for our previous episodes, you know that we're both Android people.
We are.
And
We are
this
Android
was
people.
pretty funny. Let's go ahead and play the video.
Yes.
Oh, I don't know if I've added the, yeah, maybe. Let me know if you can't hear it, because I didn't think about that.
Oh, I hear it.
Can you?
We're good.
Okay. So he's like, I hate that it has to be like this. Can you just talk to your parents? I tried, but they want to keep us apart. I just don't understand. What did green ever do to them? We're bubbles too. And literally everyone wants us to be together. Ugh. So this
That is.
was a Samsung commercial.
Did you
Available
see
on
the Google
YouTube.
one that came before this?
Google has a few, I think,
The
that
beeper one was the one that I was thinking
oh,
of. That's the
okay.
one I saw first, where they were like, cutting edge technology,
Yeah.
a beeper, and like just did it all. It was pretty funny too.
Yeah. So this is poking fun at Apple for not including RCS into iMessage. So, what a lot of people don't understand is that iMessage is a messaging platform, much like it Facebook Messenger or Instagram Instant Messenger, or any of those kind of things. So when people are sending each other iMessages, often they're not sending it across the like cellular network, sending it across data, because it's you know, a messaging platform and not a
Not like a text. Yeah.
texting platform. Yeah. And so because it's the default texting application, a lot of Apple users don't understand the difference. They're like, well, this is what I use to text. So whatever. Anyway, so Google is talking about RCS, and RCS is a standard. So there's SMS, which is like limited to a specific number of characters. Or yeah, SMS is
Yeah. Per
yeah,
like text. Yeah.
right. And then MMS, which allows you to send pictures and things like that. Well, the latest standard is RCS, and Google has adopted RCS, so like the Pixel and all of these things can communicate. If I'm going to send Emilee a text message, it can go over RCS and instead of MMS, and that like gives it some encryption and like all of the things. So Apple is refusing to include RCS in iMessage, because if you send somebody an Android message, like if you send somebody who has an Android from iMessage, it converts it to SMS or MMS, like the old standard. So, what did you think of this commercial and
I
the whole "Get the Message" campaign?
I love it. So I did try to do the research on the other side, Apple users, just to see, but it still doesn't make sense. Like, why you're not changing iMessage like much at all. You're
No.
just adding in the capability to send, instead of an SMS, an RCS chat to Android, which, like you said, encryption, reactions are in there, which iMessages aren't really encrypted. If I, well, I won't
They
say
are
that
end to
because
an
are they
iMess so an iMessage is end-to-end encrypted, but
that's
if
right, but then the
I'm
SMS.
right, if I'm sending a text in my iMessage to an Android user, it is not encrypted
That's
because
right.
it's just going over SMS.
That's right.
So, yeah.
So it's like, why I just can't. One of the reasons why this article said, and a couple of the other ones said that they're not doing it is because I don't think our users want it. How about you
Yeah,
just get an
that's
iPhone? And
right.
I'm like, what? You've got to be kidding me. Like, I'm not gonna get an iPhone. I have reasons I like Android. So you should just make it work. And my big thing too is there's a lot of bullying that goes
Yeah.
on if you have Android phones. And I don't understand how they're like, oh no, just tell your parents. And you told me the story about like, just get your grandma an iPhone. Like, no, there are reasons. There
Yeah.
are really good reasons to have
Tim Cook
Android.
literally says, like, to somebody, a reporter, like somebody who clearly is an iPhone user because they're using an iPhone. Their mom has an Android. They're in this press conference and they're saying, hey, so like when I text my mom or like send her a picture or a video, it's blurry or whatever because it's going over, an inferior standard, basically. And he says to her in this press conference, "Buy your mom an iPhone."
I hate it. I hate it.
Hated.
Hated. And it's
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about it in the past and you talk about it all the time, like, especially for kids, there are reasons why you should get an Android. And
Yeah.
so I'm like, that shouldn't be the main, like, oh, well, we're not gonna do it, so just get an iPhone. That's not
Right.
a good enough answer, Apple.
Yeah. And like the Epic Games lawsuit with
Oh,
Apple,
that's
um,
right.
has some really interesting discovery. So, like, discovery is when like they have to like gather all the emails and everything like that. And they were talking about like, and this is internal emails with all of, with Apple people. And they're saying that making iMessage for Android, like if they even like made an iMessage app for Android or just include RCS in their iMessage, it um it creates basically a reason like doesn't lock them into the platform.
They
And
have
I'm
to.
like,
Now, yeah, I
yeah.
mhm. And I think getting an iMessage app, just to say it, for Android is worse. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna just use iMessages, like,
Right.
no, sorry, it's not something I'm interested in. Just adopt RCS, let's do it and move on.
Yeah. Yeah. And as you mentioned earlier with the bullying, for sure, like it's it's a problem for our kids who are getting bullied for having an Android or getting left out of conversations because they're like, "Oh, we don't want our
The
bubbles to
green
turn green. So we're not going to have this group conversation with you." Um, you know, and it's definitely something that's happening with the kids.
Yeah. So I just think Apple should step up, just adopt RCS. Like I said, it's not going to change iMessage really
Right.
much at all.
No.
So like nothing.
The
And
and the
it was going to
iMessage to
make
iMessage standards will be it's the same, like,
it's going to be
have
the
your
same.
stupid games and everything.
I
Just
do miss I do want that. Not going to lie.
the
I kind of
games.
wish I would watch iPhone users at work play games with each other. I'd get really kind of that was like the one time I considered getting an iPhone was so I could play the games with friends. That's it. Only reason.
I hear you, I hear you. I mean, I do have an iPhone here because, like, I
Oh,
use it for, like, testing and stuff, but every time I have to pick it up, I'm like, "Ugh."
ew, gross.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry to our iPhone listeners.
Sorry. We do love you, just not your messaging
Ew.
system.
Right. Well, and that's what like and we're both in IT, and like, we would pitch people like, clients, trying to get clients. And they might be locked into a contract for their IT provider. And I'm like, you aren't getting great service or you're not giving great service if you have to lock somebody in. You know what I mean? Like if
Like if
I
they don't have the
have
choice.
right, right. If I'm like, people if I have a good product and a good service, then people are just going to want to stay. I don't have to
Yeah.
force them to stay. And that's what this feels like. They're just forcing everybody to stay when they might want to try out an Android, or,
Right.
they have Android friends and they want to communicate better with them. Like, why, again, this dramatic thing. Why are they keeping us
What?
apart?
We're bubbles too.
We're bubbles too. Anyway, I thought it was a great commercial. I'm glad you included this in
Yeah, I just wanted to start off my way back with, fire and
with
anger.
fire.
I thought it'd be great way to reintroduce myself.
Yeah, it's perfect. All right, let's go on to our next topic. Well, actually, let's move over to Best Buy, because the reason I know Emilee is because my husband worked at Best Buy with Emilee.
I
Emilee worked at
spent
Best Buy for a number
how
of
many years did I
years.
it's like mine was like 7 to 8 years
Yeah. Oh,
at Best
Trevor
Buy.
was like
Well,
10. Yeah.
I was gonna say Trevor was a long time, a
Yeah.
long timer.
Yeah.
Best Buy's one of those places that you're there for like 6 months through holidays, or 20 years later, you
Or
still work
20
there. I
years.
don't it's
There's
there's
no
no
in
in
between.
between. No, it's just super like, I have a friend who still works there. She's coming up on, like, 14, 15 years,
Oh
so
my gosh, still
long
like, well, and
timers.
Trevor still has a couple friends that still work there,
Oh, yeah.
and it's crazy. I'm like, "Wow,
Just
it's a
get
long time."
stuck. It's like a wormhole, like, you can't
Yeah.
ever leave. It's the discount. Really, it's the discount. That's why you can't leave.
Sure. Yeah. Well, and there was a time there, like, Trevor had been with Best Buy for so long. We literally walked into a Best Buy in Las Vegas, and he knew people.
Are you
I'm like
serious?
I'm like, "Oh my gosh,"
You're like,
like,
how is this possible?"
yeah. Why
That's
do you
really
know
funny.
everybody at Best Buy, like, ever?
Your
Less
friends.
so now,
It's a
but
big blue family.
it is. But the big breaking news this week is that
Did.
Best Buy will no longer have physical media.
I am heartbroken.
Are you?
Heartbroken. I can't I don't even know how to cope right now with this news.
I know it's great. Well, and I'm the kind of person who still buys physical media,
Same.
um, and we have like a zillion DVDs.
We
Um,
do a zillion.
I have a lot. I mean, we don't bust into the discs very often anymore because I've ripped everything. It's all on my Plex server now. But the funny thing is, way back when, before like Plex was a thing, I always thought, I'm like, I would love like a DVD jukebox where I can just like
Yes.
select the movie I
Yes.
want and it like comes in,
That
and
would
now
have
my
been
Plex server,
amazing.
yeah, my Plex
Plex
is
server
my
is
DVD
basically the same
jukebox,
thing,
just without all
but
the physical media. But
not all the space it's gonna take up to have that.
right, but we still like physical media, although I will say I haven't gone into Best Buy to buy
I
it in a
haven't either.
while. Like, I'll
That's a
buy
good
it at
point.
Target because I'm, like, at Target,
Yeah.
or Amazon, because that like, it'll deliver to me the day it comes out,
Yep.
um, and,
Well,
if
I
it
live in
just
the
doesn't
middle of
get
nowhere
delivered.
now where we don't
Yeah.
actually have stores. We do have a Best
Ugh.
Buy. That's bad. We have a Best Buy. But I remember I used to be, a manager at Best Buy, and we would walk around, and it's supervisor. I made it sound cool by saying manager. It's just a supervisor.
A supervisor's still the same, you're
It's still
managing
basically
stuff.
the same thing. But I'd walk around on the sales floor, and if there were no customers, I would just look at DVDs, and I
Right.
would, like, end up with, like, 10 of them that I wanted to buy by the end of my shift. And so that's, like, a part of my life was, like, just
Yeah,
finding random movies that looked good, and now, we won't get that.
I know. It's like the end of an era.
It is. It really is,
Um,
and we had the conversation recently, my husband and I, about streaming not actually owning the movies that you're streaming, but we're very much paying the same
right.
amount that we would to buy the movies. And
Mhm.
so that was kind of another discussion of like, we're going to keep doing physical copies even though we stream, because
Right.
what happens when those streaming services go away? Like, we're
Oh,
not going to
or
have
when
them.
they remove that movie from the streaming
Yeah.
service, that happens all the time.
Disney just did a bunch recently within the last like 6 months or something. And you're just like, oh, now it's gone. Now you
Yeah,
can't watch it.
right.
So
Yeah, for sure. Do you think, Emily, that this is the slippery slope that will eliminate physical media altogether?
I do. Unfortunately, I really do think we're going to stop. I'm actually surprised more stores haven't gotten rid of the physical copies
Yeah.
because of how popular streaming is. I actually watched an interview. This is a different side note with Matt Damon, who was talking about how they don't make the type of movies that they used to make that were like thought provokers or just more interesting, I'll say, because they can't. Those movies used to make all their money in DVD sales, and
Uh-huh.
now they don't make any money in DVD
Oh,
sales. So
interesting.
this, yeah, so then that's why we're only getting like blockbuster hits. We're only getting franchises and things like that, is because they have to make all the money in theaters. So I think we're not going to see much more physical copies, and I think that's going to change the type of movies that we get because of that. And so I thought that was super
That's
interesting.
that is a super interesting point. So, yeah, it's a huge bummer, but we'll see what ends up happening.
I know.
Yeah. But speaking of physical media, let's head over to Netflix.
Netflix, the anti-physical. Didn't they get their last DVD recently? Like the last.
Yeah, well, and they were told it all the customers to like just keep them.
Are
Like,
you serious?
yeah,
Should have
like
held
so
on to mine.
I know.
Dang it.
So if like at the end they're like order whatever you like want to come to your house and then just
And
keep
then
it.
we're just,
Like we're
what?
done here. Yeah. Like
That
I
would have
mean
been
it makes sense because I don't know like what they would do with all those discs and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, what
But
are you going to do with all those DVDs? That's a
I
lot
mean
to
they should sell
store.
them to Redbox or something. That's what they
Oh,
should have
that's
done.
true. That's actually would have
Like
been a good idea.
yeah, that would have been smart. But then they were just like, "Yeah, just keep it. We don't care anymore." Um,
Should have kept my DVD subscription.
yeah. I know. Except for I never used it. Like
Yeah, I didn't either. It's fine.
but what they are talking about doing is creating retail space, which is kind of interesting. Um, and it's not like where they're going to be selling physical media or anything like that. It's more of an entertainment venue where
Yeah.
there's like restaurants and like um interactive experiences. And it kind of made me think when I was in New York back in April with some friends of mine, we went to this thing called the Friends Experience, and I'll pull that up really quick.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, I've heard of this.
oh, well, and actually, it's coming to Salt Lake right now too.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
but it was super fun in New York because I was like in New York, right?
Right.
Um, and I'm like, okay, but it's like a whole interactive experience where you can like see outfits and you can like interact with the like I was in Monica's apartment and I was
That's really
in
cool.
the boys' apartment and they have like and you can really like interact with like the whole space and take as many pictures as you want and it's like a really cool interactive experience and I'm like if they kind of take that where you're like in Stranger Things with the, like, lights,
Yeah.
the Christmas lights going and,
Let's go back to the 80s. That's what that I've thought of. I wanna go
Right.
back to the 80s and Stranger Things,
Yeah. So,
but that
like,
would
it's
be
stuff
really
like
cool.
that. Right. And they have tons of, like, different, intellectual property that could, um that they could make kind of interactive spaces like that.
Yeah.
And then,
Actually,
like,
I really liked this idea. Like, I thought it was, awesome, and I'm totally in for it.
yeah. Um I I think it could be successful. Something they said in the article was that like people are since the pandemic and stuff, they are interested in going and doing
Oh,
things. They don't want to just like be at
stay
home
home.
anymore.
We're all
Yeah.
tired of staying home.
Right.
We did it for so long. Let us
We've
out.
been there for so long. So, anyway, what would be like if they had this like, a Stranger Things thing or something like that's their intellectual property, what would like you're like, I gotta go.
So, this sounds, like, so bad. We're not Netflix people.
Yeah.
We have lived
Doesn't sound
life without
bad.
Netflix for so long, but it would be Stranger Things because we get it for the shows, right? Stranger
Sure.
Things, Bridgerton. I
Okay.
actually love Bridgerton a lot.
Yeah.
So that would be my like, I'm so fancy
Right.
and going to a ball. I think it
Like
would be nice
Austin
to live
Land?
that kind of, yeah, yep, just like that. Going to do that. Did you hear, as a quick side note,
Yeah.
Blockbuster reacted to this? Did you see that?
No.
It
No. Is
sounded
it on social media
it
platform
was
formerly known as Twitter?
yeah, and it's, well, you'll find it. It's pretty funny.
I'm like, is it still twitter.com? I'm like, I
I
don't
don't
even
know.
know.
Is it X.com? I don't know.
I don't even know. That was I mean, that's a whole subject for a whole
That's a
different day.
that's a whole, like, 5-hour one we could do. Oh,
All right, we're pulling up Blockbuster's social media
I'm
platform
ready.
formerly known as Twitter.
Oh,
Um,
it's right there. I see it. Scroll just down.
friendly reminder that when you rent videos from us, we didn't care who you shared it with as long as you returned it on time. I did see this.
Did you see the one just below it too? That was the one I saw.
Oh boy, should we tell Netflix how this ends?
That was the one that I thought. I thought that was pretty funny. I was
Oh,
like,
that one was a pinned one. This is from the other day. Yeah, okay.
yeah,
That
that's so, we all know how physical stores go, but
Man, the person running the Blockbuster social media platform formerly known as Twitter account is on target.
yeah, I thought that was pretty funny when I saw that. But
That's
what would your Netflix house dream be?
I would have to go with Stranger Things, I think. That's my favorite, like, Netflix series property. I mean, Wednesday was pretty cool. I
Oh, I
could
didn't
see
see that. I need
something.
to watch that.
Oh, yeah, you definitely need to watch Wednesday. Um, can't think of anything else really off the top of my head.
Does Great British Baking Show count as a Netflix?
Yeah.
Because they bring it over from the BBC, so I would like to be in a baking show Netflix house,
Perfect.
and then I could
Yes.
eat things also.
Right, that sounds delicious. Well, and that's what they were talking about too, is the kinda like themed restaurants and too,
That'd be
um,
so fun.
it would be really fun if they do it right. Like, if they do
Yes,
it like
yes,
Disney or something. Like, I don't know if you've been to a themed restaurant at Disney, but, like, they take it to the next level.
right.
Um, we were at, and I call it MGM Studios because I'm from the '90s. But
Wait,
hol
is it
huh?
not MGM Studios anymore?
No, it's Hollywood Studios, yeah. Good
Obviously, I
job, Em.
still live in the 90s, it's
It
fine.
She still lives there. Um, but yeah, so they have a restaurant that is, like, '50s home themed. Like, it's
Ooh.
like you're in your kitchen with,
What?
like, a little tube TV, and the waitresses are all like, "Hey," like, acting like they're your mom, like,
Oh, that's
like,
amazing.
"Hey, elbows off the table. You better clean your plate or you're not getting dessert." Like, going in on you, like, for your choices, for like, they are acting exactly like your '50s mom, and
Oh my
that was
goodness.
such a fun experience, like
That would be fun. So, yeah, if Netflix can do that,
Right.
this'll be great.
Yeah, I think so. Like, I could see it being, like, better than, like I mean, I remember in the '90s, when I was, like, a, single person.
How old were you in the 90s, Sarah? Do you wanna know how old I was in the 90s?
Oh, no, shut up.
At least I was technically born in the '80s, so
That's
we're
true.
fine.
I was in college in the '90s. It's fine.
Oh,
It's fine. I mean, the end of the '90s, but
see,
yeah, there's
that's
that.
fine.
Yeah. Side note, I was at Vid Summit, which is like a YouTuber conference, and I'm sitting at lunch, like, with a bunch of other people, and I'm talking to them, and, you know, like, we get on something, and, he says his birth year, and I'm like, "Yeah, I could be your mom." I was married by then.
I don't I don't like having those conversations.
Yeah.
I'm
No.
like, "You're wait, what? What are the
Yeah.
first 2 digits of your birth year? Can
Yeah.
you no, don't actually say
No.
that to me again. I didn't
Yeah,
wanna
please
know. I lied."
please don't. Yeah. So, anyway, we used to hang out at Dave& and Buster's.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, that was, like, a really cool venue to, like, hang out at, and I think if they can do something along those lines where it's not, like, super expensive, you can, like, do whatever you want
Right.
and have fun like that. I think it'll be really successful.
That could it also kinda reminds me of, oh, now I don't remember what it was called, but it was that virtual reality company in Utah.
Void.
The Void, yes.
Mhm.
And I thought that could've been really cool. This was the point I was gonna make is they could rotate themes or have sections.
Mm.
I
Right,
was
right.
trying to decide which one I liked, but that was the cool thing that was supposed to be The Void is you would get different themes
Experiences.
every once in a while, and then
Yeah.
they went to Disney and left us in the
I
dust.
know, I was so mad about that. So the
Sick.
Void was like fully immersive VR experience where you're, like, walking around, you can pick up a torch and, like, see it and everything. I did a test, um, program here in Utah, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't wait."
Yeah,
And then they went to Disney
they
and
left us.
they
They
left
left
us.
us in the dust. I did the Ghostbuster one. That was actually really you had to, like, open doors and, like, climb up things and stuff, and you have the
Yeah,
headset, so, like you said, it's totally immersive. But if they like, yeah, again, like, if Netflix does it right, it'll be awesome.
super awesome. Yeah. Totally agree. All right, let's move on to our super fun topic. So this
Super
is
fun.
Utah and social media
Utah.
laws. I mean, and we're not the only state to be passing these kind of laws. So I'm not sure if you saw this, Emily, but in Arkansas, a similar law was set to go into effect, but a federal judge blocked it.
Oh, I did
Um,
not see that.
Yes. So, and the main reason that they blocked it was because of the unconstitutionality of it.
Hmm.
Like it limits people's access to constitutionally protected free speech,
Oh, okay. Okay. So
which it does.
yeah.
So the big news that this week was Utah added some clarification to this law that passed earlier this year, but has not gone into effect yet. Set to go into effect in March.
Oy.
I'm betting that's not going to happen, um, but the age verification portion of the law is what has been like clarified of how social media
How they're gonna
companies
do it.
yeah, like, these are the different methods that you can use for your age verification. One of them that was interesting was the age of your social media account. Like, so if I created my Facebook account 18 years ago, like, well, you're definitely over 18, so you don't need to
Sorry, I
verify
just
your age.
I'm pretty sure there's no way you could have created that if you were not born,
Right.
so I think you're okay. Like,
So
that
I
just makes
think
me
you're
laugh.
good. I know. The problem with that one though is for people whose accounts maybe got hacked at some point and they lost access, now they have a new account and it's only like 2 years old or, even 6
Well, and,
months old.
like, I hear so many well, I follow so many accounts on Instagram who have that issue, who have
Right.
had to create second accounts because Instagram won't do anything or blocked their account incorrectly or something like that. So
Right.
that's a good point. Like, even though they may have had this account for so long, it is very common, like super common to have your account have issues with it so that you had to create a second one.
Yeah. So the true like underlying thing about all of this is there is no way to verify your age without or with protecting somebody's privacy.
Yeah.
Like it's just not possible.
No.
So, like, I mean, I don't know. Like, what are your thoughts on the whole, like, age verification thing anyway?
Yeah. I don't. So, Sarah was on the local news, the statewide
Yeah,
news.
this was actually this is the news. Oh, there's comments on this. I haven't even looked at the
Oh,
comments.
we should read them.
Yeah. 'Cause this is me. That's
Going.
me scrolling my phone right there. That's me.
But I think you brought up a good point that I was gonna see if I was gonna talk over it.
Oh, yeah, no, you're fine. Like, I didn't even turn the sound on this, but yeah.
Where it's like, I I don't want Facebook to have my driver's license.
Right.
Like, I don't want to do that. I don't wanna have to give out more. My Facebook's pretty locked down. I don't wanna
Mhm.
have to give out more information to this company than I want, than, like, I already do. So, like, it's just that you just said it. It's that tie between how do I keep my privacy and still be able to use these programs?
Right.
And I don't know. I just don't like
Yeah. Same. I mean, and it's all in the, like, "Save the children. Won't
Yeah,
somebody
but
please think of the children?" Um, but I really don't think any of these laws really get to the root of the problems, because most people, like, or most teens that are on social media are on it with their parents' knowledge.
yeah,
That's not a hoop that is preventing them from getting these accounts. Um, you know, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, they're all 13 and over, and you
right.
have to prove or, say that you're over 13
Check the
to,
box.
yeah, check the box that I'm over 13. But so many adults are allowing their children, 10-year-olds, whatever, on Snapchat, on Instagram, and they fully know that they are allowing it. So this, like,
This
additional
doesn't
hoop is not
not
gonna
it's
do anything.
yeah, because it says I pulled up the law, which is weird. It feels very official, the,
Oh,
like,
no,
wording of
like,
it.
I I I should show you. I have oh, yeah. I printed out the law and, like, and marked it up, like, when it first came out, like, because there's a lot of problems in it, but
There's
anyway.
well, and the thing, it's like so verify the age is the top one,
Yeah.
and then get the consent of a parent or guardian for anybody under the age of 18. Guess how many and this is gonna tie into the part that you were just saying where it's, "Oh, this isn't the hole that we need to fix."
Yeah.
It's parents need to be involved with their kids and actually understand what's going on and everything like that, because how many times, even with this law, is a parent gonna be like, "Oh, you want Instagram? I use Instagram. Here you go. Have fun. Like, I'm not gonna worry about anything else."
Yeah.
When in
I don't see anything
reality,
inappropriate on Instagram, so it's totally
nothing's happened to
fine.
me.
Right.
I don't get messages or anything like that. So it's like, no, we're all gonna check the box. We're all
Right.
just gonna check the box that says, "I'm over 13," or, "Yes, my child is allowed to download this."
Right.
It's not gonna change the issue of being an involved parent and
Yes.
actually talking to your kids. I mean, I have a 4-year-old's my oldest child, so I don't have to worry about this yet. But, like, you have to actually talk to
She's
your
not on
children.
Instagram yet? I mean, come on
No,
now.
I should probably sign her up now because then by the time she gets old enough to use it,
She
the
won't have to
account will
verify
be old
her
enough
age.
that it's fine. Genius. Genius.
You cracked the code.
But yeah, we have to be involved parents with what's actually going on instead of allowing the law to take care of this for us because it's not going to.
Yeah. Totally, totally agree, and I love what you said earlier too about the driver's license thing, because here is something that is in this new section that the social media company would be required to delete the information within 45 days. Here's the problem with that though. Do you see the problem
Y
already, or
I have a problem with it, but I wanna
okay.
hear say yours first. I've worked for many software companies, and I can see a few problems with
Yeah.
it, but you
Yeah, I get that part. But the problem that I see is that, say parent doesn't figure out that the kid has a social media account, like they worked something to, like, pretend that they're over 18, they're not, right? And so now the parent, it's 50 days later, They find this
Oh,
information and they're like, "How could you let my kid on your platform?" And they're like, "Well, it was verified." Like, "Well, show me the proof." Like, if I'm
it's
going to
not.
sue them or something, they can't defend themselves because they don't have the proof that this is what was shown to us and this is why we verified it.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't want them to keep it either.
I don't wanna
Yeah.
Well,
So
that's
it's better to not have it at all.
yeah, well, your first part is the part I was thinking of, where I'm like, how do I know they're actually going to delete it?
Yeah.
Because
Right.
it's to their benefit to keep it.
Right.
And so it's like, we all know that businesses are not the most morally driven entities. I know.
I am shooketh.
Shocking.
Shooketh.
Shocking. So I just see, like, until they get caught, they're probably not gonna delete it because
Yeah.
it's to their benefit to keep it.
Right.
That's the part that I think
Yeah.
just it's just bad news all the way around. Like you said, just don't even go in that door. Like, let's just not even ask for it.
Yeah. One of the problems I also have with the law that has nothing to do with age verification, when I went through it, a lot of the exceptions to the rule, like it says like this is what a social media company is, and or like a social media
Oh,
platform is, and it has all of these like it's not this and it's not this and it's not this and it's not this, and most of the stuff will eliminate the most problematic platforms. Like, I read through it and I'm like, "Okay, this one could be construed to describe Snapchat. This one can be
oh,
construed to describe, like,
interesting.
Pinterest. This is Roblox," and things like that, and, like, these are the platforms that are the most that should concern
Problematic.
parents the most, and they would be totally excluded from the law based on the law. So
It's like they went after the most popular ones because that's the ones they know about,
Right,
when in reality, again, it's not this is a fine line of, like, it's not the social media's website's problem. It's not the
right.
company's problem. It's yours as a parent, and you need to understand what's going on, have the boundaries, talk to your kids, yada, yada, yada. That's gonna actually help the situation, like the issues that we're seeing with social media.
Yeah, and that brings up, like, a really good point too. Like, half of the stuff that, like, I marked up here was like, you can already do all of this with parental controls. Like, I don't
It's
need the
like
law.
the curfew, right? Create a
Yeah,
curfew. Well, if you
exactly.
have parental controls, guess what you can do?
You can
Create a
create a
curfew.
curfew. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's super hard, super hard.
I
You
just
know,
I don't yeah.
yeah. So here's some of the ones like so I'm like, okay, electronic mail. So I said like not Gmail. This one
Okay.
is where messages are shared between the sender and the recipient, only visible to the sender and recipient. I'm like, okay, this excludes Snapchat.
I was
Like
like, that's like, yeah, that's
it's
Snapchat.
exactly Snapchat.
That's exactly Snapchat. It's any messaging
um,
system really, which can be problematic.
right. And this one I said Instagram could be excluded. Like, I mean, lawyers who are very smart would have to like argue it, but one of them is photo editing that has an associated photo hosting service if the interaction with other users or account holders is generally limited to liking or commenting.
Um, that's Instagram. I guess technically you can share and, like, stuff like that, but all you do on Instagram is like and comment and
Right.
react. What?
Like,
What?
yeah, and then, like, Pinterest, and I'm like, Netflix is excluded, Amazon is excluded, Roblox, so, like, this one, interactive gaming, virtual gaming, or an online service that allows the creation of uploading content for the purpose of interactive gaming, edutainment, associated entertainment, or communication related to that content. Like, well, there's Roblox.
Yeah, from what I've heard, again, haven't entered that realm yet, Roblox can be pretty gnarly, and so,
Super
like,
dangerous. Yeah.
that's one you probably want to look at.
Right.
And, like, why is that even what? Why is that even not I don't know. It's
Yeah.
people trying to do good, like, I do not wanna discredit that,
Right.
but they're uninformed and they're going off of after the wrong thing.
Yeah. So the only thing I couldn't find an exclusion for really was TikTok. So I'm like, okay, so is this just a TikTok law
It's
then?
and I never understand when they go after TikTok, if it's TikTok or if it's because China is behind TikTok, right? Like
Right.
it's a Chinese company.
Yeah.
And I can never figure out if it's the China or if it's TikTok that they're actually worried about.
Okay, Emily, I'm going to blow your mind.
Oh, I'm ready.
This is what they're worried about. So, all of these companies, Instagram, Facebook, right? They collect data on all of us, right?
What?
I
What?
know. It's super shocking information. They collect data. Who can subpoena that data and who can have access to that data? The US government because they're US companies.
Yeah.
When TikTok collects
Oh,
data,
they
they
can't
have
get
no
it.
access to that data. Therein lies their problem with TikTok.
Ah. So maybe we should use TikTok.
I know, right?
You're a conspiracy theorist. You should
Yeah.
probably use TikTok.
Well, and so that's the funny thing is because everyone's always shocked at when I say TikTok has the best built-in parental controls of any social media platform. And everyone's always like shocked when I say that, but their parental controls are the bomb.
It's definitely one of those that's like shocking because it's not a US based company and everyone assumes that US based companies are going to be the best or the most concerned. But if you look at China and their regulations
Yeah,
around
the Great
like
China
internet use
Firewall.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that, yeah, like I'm pretty sure they're going to be pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Weird.
Weird that that's the case. That make I'd never even, like, correlated that, so I'm like, "Oh,
I mean,
you're
I'm
really
just making it
smart."
up as I go, which is most of my life, but like it makes sense, right? Like if they're gonna have this as part of their because I've heard the theory of like if you look at TikTok in China for kids under a certain age, it's all like scientific, like knowledge, blah 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 blah. If you look
Sure.
at TikTok anywhere else, it's the normal social media stuff. But it would make sense, like your code base is the same, right?
Right.
Like, so it would make sense that if they have some things for the Chinese version, that
Yeah.
it's going to bleed at least a little bit into the worldwide version. So if China has such big regulations, it's going to bleed over to the rest of the app.
Yeah. Well, and TikTok is very much I mean, that algorithm is the bomb.
It's
Like,
I actually I love the TikTok algorithm.
it, like, reads you like a book within, like,
Yeah,
minutes and will just feed you content that, like, you wanna see.
it's
Um,
amazing.
it is amazing. So, really, TikTok is what you make it.
Yeah,
Like, and that's probably why the Chinese kids, like, is all science-based, like, that's what it's the only thing
that's
their
what they
parents are
look
gonna
for.
allow them to
Yeah,
watch, right?
yep.
They wanna, like, nail that down, but because, our kids are watching someone's booty shake, that's they're gonna get more booty shaking. So,
My TikTok's all like crafting stuff. I'm like a grandma on TikTok.
my TikTok has a lot of dog videos.
Oh, that's the best.
I know.
The best algorithm is when you get the dog videos in it. That's my favorite.
Yeah, it's like it's dog videos and then, like, tech content
Yeah, of
and,
course.
like, yeah, it's, and then, like, mom content. Oh, I get Utah content too a bit, like, I
Like the
just pulled
Utah
it up.
moms.
It kind of like I pulled it up the other day and it was like, um, each Utah city, like, and it was like Ogden, meth or something like that. And, like, Lehigh was, I don't remember, like, it was a long one, it was super funny, it was, like, moms um, who do this or whatever, like, American Fork was swig, like, and st yeah,
Basically.
yeah, so I get,
American
like, that
f
kinda content. What?
That's funny. That's pretty
Y
funny.
yeah. So,
But yeah, I
speaking of
mean
go ahead.
oh, go. You go, never mind.
No, I was gonna segue, so if you had something, like
Oh, I was just gonna back to the TikTok algorithm. I quit TikTok every once in a while and go back to it, and it's like you said, it's like within a day. it's
Right.
back to whatever my algorithm was because it's so good. That's all I was gonna say.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and if you open up Snapchat, I'm not a big Snapchat user. I always feel too old to be on Snapchat. Um,
Yeah,
but
me
that
too.
algorithm is terrible. Like every
Oh,
time I open like the Discover feed on Snapchat, I'm like, ugh, I don't want to watch any of those videos. Like that is all just disgusting.
I kind of feel like that about Instagram too. It's starting to get, for me at least, I'm like, why are these videos here? Like, I don't want to watch any of these.
Right. Yeah.
So, TikTok.
Yeah. TikTok algorithm. So speaking of the TikTok algorithm, our favorite state, Utah, decides to sue TikTok, alleging it lures children into addictive and destructive social media habits. I haven't read this law yet, and I'm gonna mark it up, or not law, but like this lawsuit.
Whatever. Yeah.
Gonna mark it up the same because that's just ridiculous. Like I said, it has the best parental controls. I can limit. I can make it so my son can't search anything. I can like delete certain keywords. I can set a time limit inside TikTok. Like and then they can't get out of TikTok. Like they can't switch an account or anything like that because
Oh.
of the restrictions. Like it's really good. And I'm like, so how are they luring children into hours of social media use? Um, yeah, no, like, cause 'cause you're the parent and you can shut that down.
Well, and we had this issue with, I feel like it's only using the same things that we did with Facebook and Instagram, just with videos,
Yeah,
right? We
yeah,
all scrolled for hours on Facebook, looking at our friends' statuses, looking whatever. Instagram came out. It's the same thing. It's the same core addictive habits where just TikTok uses videos. So it's
right.
like, why are you only going after TikTok? It's
Yeah,
that core, like you said, it's that core thing of like, how is it that it's TikTok that's doing it when in reality, all the other social media platforms have used the same thing to
right.
get you on it?
Well, and now, like, the TikTok videos are literally on all the other platforms too.
Yeah,
Like,
it's basically you're just sharing them across platforms. They're just the same thing.
they're on Instagram Reels, they're on YouTube Shorts, like, so again, why are we targeting TikTok here?
I know.
When, like, the same content is available in
Yeah,
and, like, so the addictive part, like, if they're really, like, leaning into that addictive thing, yeah, their algorithm's super good. I wanna keep watching because it's a really good algorithm. That
yeah.
doesn't mean that, like, I have no ability to set a parental control and shut it down.
Right. It goes back to that you cannot, with technology, with social media, you cannot be a lazy parent.
Yeah,
You have to be involved. You have to know the features that you can change or third party things that will help you. You have to be the one that's involved to make
yeah,
it work.
absolutely. All right. So that's the tech news rundown that we've got, but let's talk about a couple things that are trending right now.
Yes, let's do it.
This I don't know if you
Yes.
saw Taylor
I
Swift
I did
on
see this.
SNL. I'll play like I don't wanna get like copyright claimed, so I'm gonna play
So
just
30
like
seconds, I think.
yeah, like brief.
I love
So Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift both, like, made, like, super quick surprise appearances on SNL, because and if you're an NFL fan, I love NFL, like, that's,
right?
like,
Same.
basically the only I mean, I like baseball,
I'm
and I
actually
l
surprised you know sports, let's be real.
no, it's true, um, like, I'm a huge Olympics fan, like, Olympics
Yes.
are my
Oh,
thing.
yes.
Huge Olympics fan. I like teams. So I like the Oakland A's, who are terrible, so I don't watch baseball.
Feel like I don't actually like them right now.
Yeah. And they've been terrible for like ages and ages. So I haven't seen a baseball game in like years. My basketball team is the Portland Trailblazers, who are also pretty terrible. I mean, with the exception of Dame Lillard, but now
Oh,
he's
yep.
not a Trailblazer. So, like I used to watch a
Mm,
few games with Damian Lillard.
now you get
Um
nothing.
Now, yeah, not really gonna Like, unless they're, like, in the playoffs, then maybe I'll start watching those
Right.
basketball games, but I'm a Blazers fan, so there
Nice.
goes that. But my football team is freaking good this year, and so I'm
Which
super into the NFL, and that is the San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, you're a Niners
I'm a
fan. I don't think I
Niner.
knew that.
Yeah, so, the history like I said, I'm Oakland A's, I'm from the Bay Area. I was born in Monterey. My family is from the Bay Area, so we are
Mm.
actual 49ers. Like, my ancestors had a gold mine in 1849 in Calaveras County in California. So, like,
What
we
counts?
are
Yeah,
49ers.
I am a 49er.
I lived in the Bay Area during the Joe Montana era. Like, so I remember him being on TV going like three-peat for the Super Bowl. Like, I remember all of this. I'm a 49er fan. But like I said, never really like haven't paid attention to NFL for a while because like they haven't been great. But this year, I mean, I started watching them a bit last year, and I
Right.
was a little nervous when Jimmy Garoppolo got like injured, and then Brock
Yeah.
Purdy came in and like stole my
Purdy did
heart.
great.
Yeah, like I mean, I could be his mom, but um like I don't like him like that. Jimmy Garoppolo is still a very good looking man. I would still like date Jimmy Garoppolo over Brock Purdy, but for my quarterback, I am behind Brock Purdy 100%. Anyway, so into the NFL, especially this season. So I can see where everyone got super up in arms that like, and I watched this Kansas City game too,
Oh,
and
yeah.
was like, what are they doing? Like, they kept talking about like all this Taylor Swift stuff.
Yeah.
They're playing the Jets, and they're like, Aaron Rodgers came to a Taylor Swift concert, and like, who
You're like, "What is
cares?
happening?"
Yeah.
We're the same. We're big NFL people. My husband's from Washington, so we're big
Oh,
Seahawks fans, but
nice.
I'm a college sports person, so
Oh,
now all my
sure.
college players have come up into the NFL, so we watch,
Right.
um, dear Zachary Wilson on the Jets, who's trying
Hey,
his
hey,
best.
he killed the Eagles.
He did.
I was super stoked about that because I was like heartbroken because my 49ers lost. And like,
Yes.
so then the Eagles were the only other team in the NFL that were undefeated. And so I was like, go Jets,
You're like, "Yeah,
go
let's do it."
Jets. I totally
And he
watched
did
that
it.
game and he
I
did
was
it.
so
Yeah.
proud of him.
It was so great. Good job, Zach
And so
Wilson.
it's a good job, Zach. We're so proud
Yeah.
of you.
Yeah.
Make us proud.
Yeah.
Um,
The
so
Puka
yeah, we watch
Nakua
like
on the Rams. Like,
yeah,
or no. Yeah. Is it the Rams or it's an LA team?
yes, Puka Chargers, Rams, Chargers.
One of the two.
Ooh,
I
but
I,
I
I
don't
feel like
know.
I feel like it's the Rams.
I think it is the Rams. I have the picture of when I picture him, I picture the Rams.
Sure. Okay.
I act like I know sports, and then stuff like this comes up, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't actually know
I don't
sports.
know.
We do Tua on the Dolphins. We do, I think, Algiers on the Falcons.
Yeah, he's on the
But
Falcons. Yep.
so I watch all the games, and so I was watching the Chiefs game too, and I missed Taylor. So it was the same thing where they were
Okay.
like, "Ugh, all these Taylor comments," and I was like, "What?
Yeah.
Why are we talking about Taylor Swift?" And
Right.
then I think they showed her again, and I was like, "Oh, I got it. I get
Yeah,
it now. I know what's happening."
I get it. Yeah. But like NFL, like true like NFL fans are like, why are we talking about Taylor Swift? Like, shut up and let's talk some football.
We need to know what's going on in the game.
Yeah. Did you see the movie concert, or are you a Taylor Swift person?
I'm like a half Swiftie where I
Sure.
was like really into her in college because we're the same age. Really into her in
Ah,
college.
interesting.
And then couple albums went by, and then I think I came back in with Evermore is when I kind of joined back in.
I didn't
Um,
even know that was a name of an album.
I think it is. I think that was one of the COVID ones that she released.
Okay.
And then Midnights. So I'm actually gonna go see it tonight. I
Oh,
made myself a
fun.
Swiftie shirt. Not wearing it. I should have worn it.
Right?
And so a bunch of us are gonna go see it. So I'm just there. Like they've turned into concerts, right? Like people are dancing and having a
Yeah,
blast.
I've heard
I
that. I
ordered a
haven't.
jumbo popcorn and like a large drink. So I'm
Nice.
pretty sure I'm just gonna sit and like watch it. Then I let everybody else dance.
That sounds amazing.
It's the best way to
Um,
go to a concert.
right? Like, that's the kind of concert I can get behind. I'm like, I'm not a big concert person,
Yep.
so, but, like, I remember they brought the Disney Newsies to the theater, and that
Oh.
was amazing, like, the
That was
Broadway play to the theater,
right.
and I loved that, like, I could see a Broadway play, and I didn't even have to, like, go all the way to New York. It was fantastic.
Exactly. And, like, the
Yeah,
Taylor Swift concert tickets are, like, $200.
right.
And while this was still, like, 20, which is pretty pricey for a movie, like, I'd rather spend 20 bucks than 200
Yeah.
and get to see her in concert.
Right, right, for sure. And nice shots too, like, where you wouldn't
Yeah.
get that if you were, like, at the concert itself.
I'd be in the nosebleeds, so I would
Right.
see, like, nothing. And so now I actually get to act like I have great seats.
Yeah,
So, I was all for
exactly.
going to see it.
Yeah.
Did you
Speaking
see
of
it?
that, like, no,
Oh.
I know that, like, 21 song and,
Okay.
like, a few others. It's
Like,
not like
I've heard of this Taylor Swift chick you're talking
yeah.
about.
Like, I don't hate her, and, like, the songs that I've heard, I do like, I would sing to, like, "I'm feeling 20" right? Oh, 22, that's it.
I was gonna say it is 22.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. But, like, so I'll sing along to, like, those songs, but, like, honestly, that's probably the only one I can think of off the top of my head, like, that she sings. So
I like all her angry songs, that's really what it is
well, sure, that's so
she
fun.
just she just has
That's
fun,
why I like
angry songs.
Pink and, like, Gwen Stefani,
Yeah,
like, Pink has some great angry songs,
she does
so
have some great angry
yeah,
songs.
I love Pink. I would pay to go see a Pink, like,
Didn't she come? Not
uh,
here. I think she was in Arizona just recently.
I mean, like, not the actual concert, I'm saying, like, a Pink
Oh,
movie
oh, I
concert.
would also do that too.
Yeah. I'm like,
I'm
I
like a
wouldn't
half
actually go to the
we went to a
concert.
concert recently, and it was actually really pretty good, but there's a lot of standing in
Yeah,
concerts. Like,
right?
and I'm old and tired now.
I'm old, I've got kids.
I like to be asleep by, like, 10.
Yeah,
So,
samesies.
concerts are late.
Yeah, so, but speaking of that,
Okay.
I would want tickets to like, I feel in my heart and soul that the 49ers are going to the Super Bowl this year, like, in my soul, and the Super Bowl is in Vegas, like, Vegas is just down the road.
That's
So,
so
I
close.
was looking for tickets, and they're like, "Sell your first child kind of money,"
It's
and I'm
fine.
like,
You don't need
oh,
Maddie anymore, it's fine.
right? I mean, she's 18, she can choose if she wants to be sold or not.
I do think it would be fun to go to a Super Bowl. I've always really been interested in that. I do like sporting events a lot, and it's
I
fun to just be
know.
there with, like, the crowd and, like, in it. I'm a
And
big
with
fan.
Vegas, there's so many places to stay, like,
Yeah,
that I mean, it's a great venue. I mean, we've been there to CES several times. But yeah, like, I think it would be a really easy experience because, like, I don't wanna
yeah,
go somewhere where there's gonna be, like, a lot of traffic and there's gonna be a ton of, like,
right.
crowds and stuff, but with so many rooms right near the stadium,
I'm just
like,
like
what
I'm just remembering how you're always every time we go to Vegas, you're always like,
there's so
"There's so many rooms."
I still do that. Like, there are so many rooms. It blows me away.
That's
I
the thing
don't
I'm losing it. The whole podcast, the whole one I'm losing it on is so many rooms, all the rooms.
I mean, you look at all the windows and there's, like, huge buildings all around you. I don't even know how Vegas fills up. Like, it's just it's the one thing I cannot understand in my life.
Physics, don't care. Science, I can't think of another science.
Biology,
Quantum?
whatever.
Biology?
Yeah.
The rooms.
The rooms in Vegas.
My kid thought I was crying, by the way. She's like, "What's wrong?"
Like,
I'm
"Oh, are
like,
you
"It's
okay?"
fine.
I'm just laughing very
Just
hard.
laughing. We're okay. Everything's
Yeah.
fine here."
So I think the Super Bowl in Las Vegas will be a really nice, easy experience.
Yeah, and it's all walkable, right?
Right,
Vegas is
yeah.
very walkable, so that
Yes.
would be a
Yeah,
great interesting.
I
Now
know.
I'm gonna look for tickets.
I know. Like, I mean, because the only ones I could find are these, like, VIP packages,
Ugh,
like, where it's, like, got a bunch of stuff included in it, and it's, like,
right.
$9,000 per ticket, you know?
Oh, that makes me hurt.
Yeah, I know. But, yeah, but I feel in my soul this the 49ers will be there, and I want to be there.
I wonder there's a lot of words on these links. I'll have to look at it later. I was trying to see when like, can you buy it? Maybe it's too soon because we don't but no,
Yeah,
that
I
doesn't make
don't
sense. That
know.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Smarter
Yeah,
people
like,
than me know.
I had a hard time finding anything but, like, a VIP package, you know?
That's what came up just in my
Yeah,
quick 5-second search. So I don't know. Maybe they're not
exactly.
for sale yet.
Yeah, I don't
I don't
know.
know.
I don't know. And I need to find out. Maybe by next time we
Well,
meet,
no.
we'll know these things.
We'll know if they're you can buy the really important stuff on this tech podcast is
Super
if you can
important.
buy Super Bowl
Super Bowl ticket
tickets
right
and how
now.
many rooms are on
Yeah.
Ve
And
are in
how many rooms
Vegas.
are in Vegas? If anybody knows how many rooms are actually in Vegas,
And, like,
you
what
let me
percentage
know.
of Vegas is full
Right. Like,
per each night?
right. Like,
Like, that's the
there
other thing.
has to be a room of, like, heart of CES where there's, like, a zillion people. There has got to be available rooms. Got to be. My brain can't comprehend the amount of rooms.
Oh, man. I love it. Best
Yeah,
part.
best part. So that's what's trending. Taylor Swift, her
We oh, yeah, we were talking
her
about
NFL
SNL.
appearance.
Yep,
Yeah, her SNL/NFL appearances
appearance.
because she's dating the Travis Kelce.
Dang, that is one thing that, like, just to finish this off, is
Yeah,
everyone's like, "Who's this Travis Kelce?" Now, to be fair, I only knew him because he and his brother played against each other in the Super
in the
Bowl,
Super
and there
Bowl.
was Mama Kelce.
Yeah,
So,
and
like,
she had
I'm
the
not
coolest,
super
like,
yeah, like the
half.
split jersey.
Yeah, that was so fun.
So
Well, and
now
my
I did feel
favorite
very smart,
yeah,
but I knew
my
who
favorite
Travis was.
was at the end of the game, when they met each other.
Oh, yeah.
The one who lost said, "F you, congratulations."
Yeah.
Except for he said the real word, but
He said the real people swear.
yeah.
Do you know they have a podcast? Quick side note, they also have a podcast. That's pretty
Travis
fun.
and his
Travis and
brother,
Jason.
Jason. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
have to check
yeah.
that out.
You might have
Hey,
to.
that's this podcast today is brought to you by Travis and Jason's podcast because they need to sponsor other podcasts to get listeners.
Wait, what is that? I don't even know what it's called. Someone's gonna know. It's like, oh, that's not how you spell Kelsey.
Yeah, Kelce.
Kelce. Oh, none of these things are the words that I want.
While you're looking for that though, he's a tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs, and my favorite tight end, George Kittle on the San Francisco 49ers. So you know how they do these like little intros when it's like they're like, Travis Kelce, Louisiana State, or I don't know,
Oh,
whatever,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So I was watching, I think it was Sunday Night Football when we beat the Cowboys, like, and royally spanked them. Um, and they go like, and George Kittle's announcing himself. He goes, George Kittle, tight end university. And I'm like, did he really just say tight end university? He went to Iowa. Like he is so funny. Like, and it
Oh,
was so fast. He said it so serious. And I'm like, I text my
did you
friend who's like also watching the Niners game. I'm like, did Kittle just say he went
did
to
he just
tight
say
end
that?
university?
Did he mean to say that? That
Yeah,
is
super funny.
too funny.
Did you find the Kelsey Brothers podcast?
It's called New Heights with Jason and Travis Kelce.
Ah, look at that. New Heights.
There you
This
go.
podcast sponsored by New Heights by Travis and Jason Kelsey.
Oh man.
We also like another thing that's trending is Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that? Like
The only thing that I thought was interesting when I was reading about it is someone was like, "So what was that slap all about?" Because they were
right.
separated
They were separated.
when the slap happened.
Yeah, I have a suspicion because I believe I saw something else that said Chris Rock asked her on a date at some point, like
Oh.
when they were separated or something like
Ooh.
that. So
So maybe
I
he was like,
think that was more just
interesting.
like don't hit
Because
on my girl kind of
when the
thing.
slap happened, I remember I was really into looking it up apparently. They like you watch Will and
Yeah,
he's like, haha, this is funny. And then he
right.
looks at Jada and she's
And
like
she's all
ticked.
right.
And that's when he goes and slaps
Yeah,
Chris Rock. But now that they're separated,
I know.
I'm like,
Maybe
why
he
does
thought
he
it was gonna
care?
like win her back or something.
Oh,
Like, hey,
maybe.
I
Look
stand up
at
for you. I don't know.
I don't know anything, but yeah, that's the main part. That first, it does make me sad a little bit
Yeah,
because I did like Will and Jada, but also I'm like, then why did he slap Chris Rock? I need
right.
to know answers.
I need answers too. So I don't know if you saw this. I'm gonna try and pull it up really
Oh,
quick. It was on TikTok, my favorite, TikTok.com, Will Smith. He did a yeah. Here's his official statement.
oh.
It no, it's no O.
I just
I got something for you. Here's the thing. So, my opinion of the.
That's it. That's the whole video.
I got something for you. Here's the thing. So,
I do love Will Smith. He's funny. Like he's just like naturally funny. He like doesn't seem forced or anything like that.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm on his side now. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, the
that's
the slap was not cool, but
but
this
that's
was
pretty
pretty
good.
good. Like he said, this is my official statement. We'll just play it again one more time.
Ready?
Okay, dude.
That's good. I like that one. That one's pretty good.
I know. Like, and sometimes just saying nothing is like the right way to go.
Because
Yeah, go ahead.
it's none of our business, to be honest. Like,
Right.
as interested as I am in other people's business, it's not mine. So,
Yeah. The similar thing when I'm just like, you should have just like kept quiet. I don't know if you were following the Danny Masterson stuff.
oh
Um,
no.
so Danny Masterson gets convicted of RAPE in California, and he was like going for sentencing. And so at sentencing, people can write letters like for or against or whatever.
That's right. I
And
remember
so
this now that you're saying it.
Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis write a letter in support of their friend Danny Masterson. Well, I really don't think they realized that that letter was going to be public record.
Yeah.
And so then they try and issue like an apology. And like that's the situation where I'm like, you should have just kept,
You just like, let's just
just
know. Yeah. Just know.
just let it speak for itself. And
Yeah, that's just it. It's a hard situation to be in. Like, I get that, but definitely just don't try to backtrack. Don't do anything. Just like it happens. Just let it be.
just let it be. Yeah,
Yes.
for sure. Well, I think that wraps up our episode for today. Emilee, I'm so glad you're back. We're going to be changing up the day and time to fit Emilee's busy mommy schedule.
Nap times.
Nap
What?
time. Woo-hoo, go naps. Oh, I'm ever so grateful that I am not in your stage of life anymore.
Cannot wait to be there. I will do the mom thing of like, yep, kids are great, but when they're like self-sufficient will be the most magical time of my life.
It is the most magical time. But here's the problem. Here's what happens when they're teenagers. It's like 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, hey guys, it's time for bed. And this is the time that they choose to get along the best. And they're like hanging out and they're playing games together. And I'm like, guys, you can't do that at like 6 p.m. Like, why are we waiting until 10 o'clock to become best friends? Like, because then I don't want to shut it down because my
You
kids
want to
are
like
getting along.
encourage it.
Right. I'm like, I
But
think they know this. And that's why
That's
they do
really
it.
they've gotten together and they said if we want to stay up late, this is
We
what we need to
gotta
do.
be besties at 10. So that's the biggest problem with my children is they're best friends at 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, go to bed.
Super late.
Yeah. I want to go to bed. I generally go to bed before my children these days. So
That sounds about right.
yeah. That's why I use technology to shut everything down.
Yeah, you're like,
because-
I'm going to sleep. I'm going to let the automation do my job for me.
Exactly. Doesn't mean I don't check on it. Still check
Right.
on it. 'Cause
Right.
things aren't perfect.
But use
But
the
yeah.
tools.
Yeah. And I'm going to go to bed. I'll see you in the morning. Awesome. Well, I'm so excited for us to be back together. Guess who's back? Back again. Yeah. So, hope you guys enjoy these streams. Feel free to chat and comment during our stream if you have opinions about what we're talking about. It's gonna be a good time. So
Be a
strap in for the ride. All right, we'll see ya.
Bye.